Donald Trump was actively engaging with his smartphone screen. The House Oversight Committee hearing centered on presidential ethical conflicts and digital currency corruption. Democrats had formally summoned his attendance. Republicans had negotiated the stipulations. He agreed to appear technically. He was physically present. His chair tilted back slightly. His feet were nearly propped up. He held his mobile phone. He was not focused. Jasmine Crockett was speaking presently. She had been speaking for 3 minutes without interruption. She detailed the entire timeline, the cryptocurrency business ventures, the international funding sources, the terminated official inquiries. Trump had not glanced up once. "Mr. President," Crockett declared distinctly. Her tone was calm and level. "I am posing a direct question to you now." Trump proceeded to swipe along. He monitored the current price of his Trump cryptocurrency. It had increased by 2% today. That is positive. He smiled slightly. "Mr. President, you established World Liberty Financial while seeking high office. Your family controls 60 to 75% of the company, and 70% of total revenue is directed precisely to your relatives. Is this assertion correct?" His attorney interrupted immediately. He did not even stand. He merely spoke from his seat adjacent to Trump. "My client is not obligated to answer partisan attacks disguised as questions." The chairperson, a Kentucky Republican, concurred rapidly. "The witness is advised that he may decline to answer any question he deems inappropriate." Trump glanced up then, not at Crockett, but towards the chairman. He offered a brief thumbs up. "Thanks, Jim." He resumed using his mobile phone. Crockett simply sat waiting. 3 binders were positioned before her: blockchain ledgers, bank records, forgiveness documents, treasury assessments, hundreds of pages of evidence, all meaningless if he refused to participate, if he refused to answer, if he refused to even look at her because he did not have to. He was President of the United States, and that changed everything completely. She opened the first binder regardless. September of 2024, 2 months before the election. "You and your family established World Liberty Financial, a cryptocurrency entity." She presented a printed version of the website. Trump's photograph is listed as Chief Crypto Promoter. Your sons Donald Jr. and Eric are listed as co-founders. Your youngest son Barron, 18 years old, is also listed as a co-founder. She brought forth the corporate filings. She read deliberately. "Your family owns between 60 and 75% of this entity through a company named DT Mark X DDF LLC, and here is the fascinating portion. 75% of all revenue produced by World Liberty Financial flows directly to your family." Trump's finger continued moving. He was swiping, not listening. World Liberty Financial promoted what they called governance tokens. These tokens supposedly give owners a say in company decisions. Between September and December 2024, World Liberty Financial sold $550 million worth of these tokens. She paused momentarily. "Let that register. $550 million total. 75% of that is $412 million. That money went to your family while you were campaigning for president." There was still no reaction from Trump. "You were asking the American people to make you president and simultaneously establishing a company where foreign governments, foreign nationals, and anyone else could buy tokens that would put money directly into your family's pockets." She turned the page. "But that was just the beginning, because 3 days before you took office, your company, Fight LLC, initiated something even bolder, the Trump meme coin." She now possessed records with blockchain addresses, transaction logs, all public information. January 17, 2025, 3 days before your inauguration, your entity issued 1 billion Trump coins. You sold 200 million to the public. You kept 800 million for yourself and your associates. She read the numbers carefully, making sure the cameras captured every digit. First day sales reached $347 million. Your share, the 800 million tokens you kept, was valued at over $1 billion. $1.3 billion to be exact. You launched a cryptocurrency named after yourself 3 days before becoming president, and you retained 80% of it. Trump looked at his phone. The Trump coin price ticker was still positive. Crockett advanced, methodical and persistent. Within weeks, the money began pouring in. Allow me to walk you through what transpired with the United Arab Emirates. She presented a timeline. She held it up for the cameras. March 2025, World Liberty Financial introduces a new product, OneUSD, a stablecoin. That is a cryptocurrency fixed to the US dollar. On paper, every single US dollar coin is secured by one actual dollar. Next document, March 15th, MGX, which is a sovereign wealth fund belonging to the United Arab Emirates, announces a $2 billion investment in Binance. That is one of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchanges, but here is the critical detail. They used your OneUSD stablecoin to execute that transaction. She looked directly at Trump. He was not returning her gaze. When they used OneUSD for a $2 billion transaction, that generated massive volume for your stablecoin. And because your family receives 75% of the revenue from World Liberty, financial analysts estimate you earned between $300 and $400 million from that single transaction. Pause now. Let that number settle. 3 days after that deal was completed, your administration approved an artificial intelligence chip agreement with the UAE's G42 company, advanced American technology worth billions going to the United Arab Emirates. She presented another document. This one was marked classified with a red stamp crossed out. The National Security Council objected. They wrote a memo declaring these chips could be diverted to China and that it was a national security risk. 6 NSC staff members signed that memo. She showed termination letters, all dated March 20th. All 6 were terminated on March 20th, the exact day the chip deal was announced. 6 national security professionals, career officers fired for trying to protect American safety, and your family walked away with hundreds of millions of dollars. Trump's attorney began to object. Crockett continued speaking. Let's discuss Justin Sun, the Chinese cryptocurrency billionaire. At the time your World Liberty Financial launched, Mr. Sun was under investigation by the Securities and Exchange Commission for fraud and market manipulation. The SEC had been building a case for 2 years, new documents, SEC complaint, investment records. January 25, 2025, Mr. Sun purchased $75 million worth of World Liberty Financial tokens. Late February, he bought another $200 million of your Trump meme coins. Total investment is $275 million. Timeline on the screen behind her. March 3rd, the SEC announced it was pausing its investigation of Justin Sun, not dropping it, not closing it, pausing it indefinitely. She looked at the Republican members of the committee. A man under federal fraud investigation invests $275 million in the president's cryptocurrency companies. Weeks later, the investigation is paused, and now Mr. Sun is the top holder of Trump coins. He is currently winning your contest for a private dinner at the White House. The man under fraud investigation buying dinner with the president, using the president's own cryptocurrency. Trump shifted in his seat, the first sign he was even listening. But it's not just Justin Sun. Allow me to show the pattern. She did not use a chart. She merely read slowly and deliberately. Crypto.com, a cryptocurrency exchange under federal investigation for securities violations, December 2024, facing probable enforcement action. Then you were elected. January 2025, Crypto.com donated $11 million to political committees supporting you. August 2025, Crypto.com announced a $1 billion partnership with your social media company. September 2025, the investigation was dropped. The next one is Coinbase, another exchange under investigation. Donated to your campaign. The investigation closed down. Next is Gemini, under investigation. Donated millions. Enforcement action concluded. Next is Ripple, facing a lawsuit. Donated, received a favorable settlement. She stopped. Let the pattern speak for itself. Every single one facing federal investigation or enforcement action. Every single one donated to your campaign or invested in your companies. Every single one received relief from the federal government you now control. She presented one more document. And you systematically dismantled the enforcement infrastructure. In the first month of your presidency, you dissolved the Department of Justice's National Cryptocurrency Enforcement Team. That was the unit specifically created to prosecute cryptocurrency crimes. Gone now. Trump was still on his phone, but his finger had stopped moving. Let's discuss Changpeng Zhao. People call him CZ, founder of Binance. In November 2023, he pleaded guilty to money laundering violations, admitted that Binance enabled transactions that violated U.S. sanctions. He served 4 months in prison, got out in September 2024. She held up technical documents. September 2025, Binance engineers helped World Liberty Financial build the code for OneUSD, your stablecoin, the one the UAE later used for their $2 billion transaction. Timeline again. October 15th, MJX uses OneUSD for that huge deal. October 23rd, you pardoned Changpeng Zhao completely, full pardon. All federal crimes erased. October 25th, Binance began heavily promoting OneUSD to U.S. investors. She leaned forward slightly. He helped build your cryptocurrency. His firm facilitated a deal that made your family hundreds of millions of dollars. You pardoned him for federal crimes, and his firm now promotes your product to Americans. Finally, she closed all 3 binders, stacked them neatly, and looked directly at the camera. Mr. President, you have earned at least $800 million in the first 6 months of this year alone from cryptocurrency while serving as president. Foreign governments have invested billions in your enterprises. People under federal investigation have given you hundreds of millions, and every single one has received favorable treatment from your administration. Pause. You have pardoned criminals who invested in your enterprises. You have dropped investigations into people who bought your coins. You have fired national security professionals who tried to stop you. You have dismantled the enforcement teams that were supposed to prosecute this exact kind of corruption. She picked up one binder, held it. I possess blockchain records, public, verifiable. Anyone can look them up. I possess bank statements. I possess pardon documents. I possess testimony from fired officials. I possess everything. Another pause. Do you have anything to say, any explanation, any defense? Trump looked up, not at her, at his attorney. The attorney spoke. The president has been very clear. He is a businessman. The American people knew that when they elected him. This is all legal, all disclosed, and frankly all irrelevant to his duties as president. Trump nodded, gave another thumbs up, went back to his phone. Crockett yielded her time. The chamber erupted. Republicans defending, Democrats attacking. Trump sitting there scrolling, not caring because he did not have to care. He was president. 3 months later, everything had changed. Mark Henderson was 47 years old, an electrician from Ohio, worked his entire life, saved $50,000 for retirement. Not much, but it was his. He had voted for Trump twice, believed in him. He is a businessman. He knows money. When Trump started promoting cryptocurrency, Mark paid attention, saw the Truth Social posts. Trump coin is the future of American wealth. Get in early. The president was stating it, the president of the United States. Mark bought in at $68 per coin, put in everything, all $50,000. The coin hit $74. He was up, felt smart, felt validated. Then it crashed. 60, 50, 40, 30, 20. By March, Trump coin was trading at $12. Mark's $50,000 was worth $8,000. His retirement was gone. His daughter had to leave college, 19 years old, studying nursing, had to drop out, could not afford tuition. Now she worked at Target, wouldn't speak to him. You trusted him. Him. Mark could not sleep, could not eat, kept checking the price, kept hoping it would come back. It kept falling. He saw Trump on TV at Mar-a-Lago, golfing, laughing, living in luxury with his money, with his daughter's college fund, with his retirement. Something broke inside Mark. He drove to the local news station, walked in. I lost $43,000 because President Trump told me to buy his cryptocurrency. I would like to share my story. The interview aired that night. Mark sitting there, ordinary guy, electrician's uniform still on, tired face, broken tone. I trusted him. He is the president. He said it was the future, so I invested everything. And he cashed out, made billions. I lost everything. His voice cracked. My daughter had to drop out of college. We are losing our house, and he is playing golf. The video went viral. 5 million views in 6 hours, 10 million by morning. Comments flooded in. I lost 18,000 the same way. I lost 67,000. I am a Republican, voted for him twice. He stole from me. Thousands of comments, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. A Facebook group formed, Trump Crypto Victims. Within a week, 50,000 members. Within a month, 340,000. All with similar stories. Trusted the president, lost everything. They were not Democrats, were not liberals. They were Trump voters, his base, his people, and they were organizing. Sarah Chen had worked at the National Security Council for 8 years, China desktop top secret clearance, PhD in international relations from Georgetown. When the UAE chip deal came across her desk, she knew immediately it was wrong. The technology was too advanced. The risk of diversion to China was too high. She wrote a memo, detailed, documented, "Do not approve this deal." Told her supervisor, told the deputy national security advisor, told everyone who would listen. This threatens American security. 6 of them signed the memo. 6 NSC professionals, career officials, not political appointees. March 18, 2025, Sarah was called into an office. "We are letting you go." What? Why? Insubordination. I was doing my job, protecting national security. Clean out your desk. Security escorted her out. Clearance revoked immediately. The chip deal was approved that same day. Sarah tried to get another job. Government defense contractors, think tanks. "Why did you leave the NSC?" "I was fired for objecting to the UAE chip deal." Silence. "Then we cannot hire you. Too political." Every interview, same response. Her husband did not understand. "Why did you have to write that memo? Why could you not just stay quiet?" Arguments started, small at first, then bigger, then constant. He left in August. Sarah was 34 years old, PhD, 8 years of government service, top secret clearance, perfect record, now unemployed, divorced, could not get hired anywhere. All because she tried to protect national security while Trump's family made $400 million from the deal she tried to stop. James Martinez had worked at the SEC for 12 years, Enforcement Division, specializing in cryptocurrency fraud. He had spent 2 years building the Justin Sun case. 2 years of investigation, following the money, documenting the fraud, building an airtight case, market manipulation, unregistered securities, wash trading, false statements. They had him dead to rights. February 2025, James was called into his supervisor's office. "Close the Sun investigation." James thought he had misheard. "What? Close it? We have him. 2 years of work. We are ready to file charges." "Orders from the top. Close it." From whose? Silence. James understood. From the White House. Because Sun had invested $275 million in Trump's crypto companies. "I cannot do that. It is corruption." "Then resign." James sat there, 12 years at the SEC. His career, his purpose, his belief in the rule of law against corruption, against protecting a criminal because he had paid off the president. He resigned. March 15, 2025, wrote a resignation letter. "I cannot in good conscience dismiss a case for political reasons." Left his badge on the desk, walked out, tried to get hired at law firms. "Why did you leave the SEC?" "I resigned over the Justin Sun case." "Oh, we represent crypto clients, not a good fit." Every firm, same response. Integrity made him unemployable. His son turned 8 in October, wanted a bike for his birthday. James could not afford it. Used to make $140,000 at the SEC, now unemployed for 7 months, savings running out. Meanwhile, Justin's son was competing for dinner with Trump, using the cryptocurrency the president promoted, while the case James built sat in a file somewhere. Closed, buried, crime proven, criminal protected, prosecutor punished. 5 of them met at a coffee shop in D.C. November. Cold morning. Sarah Chen, James Martinez, Daniel Parker, the fired U.S. Attorney, Robert Williams, the ethics lawyer fired day 5 of the presidency, Amanda Foster, the State Department whistleblower buried in the archives. All destroyed for trying to stop corruption. They decided to do a press conference together. Tell the truth, all of it. National Press Club, cameras everywhere, reporters from every major outlet, 5 people at a table, former government officials, not politicians, professionals. Sarah spoke first. I am Sarah Chen. I was fired from the National Security Council for trying to protect American security. The UAE chip deal threatened our technology advantage, could have led to diversion to China. I raised concerns. 6 of us did. We were all fired. The deal went through. The Trump family made $400 million. Her tone was steady, calm, not angry, just factual. That is not policy. That is corruption. James Martinez next. I am James Martinez. I spent 2 years building a case against Justin's son, had him dead to rights. Then he invested $275 million in Trump's cryptocurrency. I was ordered to close the case. I resigned rather than participate in corruption. Daniel Parker. I am Daniel Parker. I was U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. I had a grand jury investigating the Trump crypto scheme. We had evidence of foreign bribery, quid pro quo, clear violations of federal law. I was ready to indict. The Attorney General fired me. Robert Williams. I am Robert Williams. Day 5 of the Trump presidency. I told the White House counsel that the Trump coin violated the Constitution's emoluments clause. A president cannot profit from his office while serving. I was fired immediately. That is how committed they are to the rule of law. Amanda Foster. I am Amanda Foster. I documented Foreign Corrupt Practices Act violations, filed a whistleblower complaint through proper channels. I was not fired. They just buried me, transferred me to the archives, took away my portfolio. I still get a paycheck, but I cannot do my job. They destroyed my career slowly. The press conference lasted 90 minutes. Questions, answers, documentation. These were not Democrats, were not activists. They were career professionals. Some Republicans, all destroyed for doing their jobs. The press conference went everywhere. Cable news, network news, every major newspaper. Their credibility was unimpeachable. Their evidence was documented. Their conclusion was clear. The president was running a criminal enterprise from the White House. Trump's first public appearance after the press conference was CPAC, Conservative Political Action Conference. His base, his people, his safe space. He arrived in the usual motorcade, Secret Service, the works. But outside the hotel, there were protesters, not the usual protesters. Mark Henderson was there holding a sign. Simple, clear. Trump stole my $43,000 retirement. Not yelling, not chanting, just standing there, quiet, dignified, and he was not alone. 50 people with him, all holding similar signs. Lost $67,000 to Trump crypto scam. Lost my daughter's college fund. $82,000 gone. Trump voter lost everything. $54,000. All Trump voters, all wearing MAGA hats, all holding signs about being scammed. Secret Service tried to move them, but they were not breaking any laws. Public property, First Amendment. Trump saw them from the car window. His face went red. Go around back. The motorcade circled the building, but cameras had already caught it. The protesters, the signs, Trump fleeing from his own supporters. Inside CPAC, Trump tried to give his speech, started strong, usual stuff. Making America great, winning, success. But 15 minutes in, someone yelled, "You stole my money!" Security moved toward them, started removing them. Another person stood. "Why did you fire the NSC staff?" Security grabbed them too. Another, "Where's my retirement?" 3 people removed from CPAC, Trump's own event, his own supporters. Trump cut the speech short, 23 minutes, was supposed to speak for an hour, left through a side exit. Video went everywhere. Trump flees his own supporters. Comment sections exploded, even conservatives. Why is he running from his own people? 3 days later, Trump went to dinner. BLT Prime in Palm Beach, fancy steakhouse near Mar-a-Lago, reservation under a fake name. But people knew, they always knew. He walked in with his usual entourage, lawyers, staffers, Secret Service. Sarah Chen was there, pure coincidence, didn't plan it, just happened to be eating with a friend. She saw him walk in, recognized him immediately. Something inside her snapped. Not anger, just need. Need for him to know. Need for him to see what he had done. She stood up, walked toward his table. Secret Service immediately moved between them, hands ready. "Mr. President?" Her tone was calm, quiet. Trump looked up, annoyed. "Who are you?" "Sarah Chen. You fired me from the National Security Council March 18th. I tried to stop the UAE chip deal. You fired 6 of us." Trump's face blank. I do not know who you are." "I worked in the White House for you. I tried to protect American security. You fired me because it would have cost your family $400 million. Other diners were watching now, phones coming out, recording. Sarah kept her tone calm. Not yelling, not aggressive, just speaking. "I lost my career. My marriage ended. My parents are ashamed of me. All because I tried to stop you from selling American security to the highest bidder." She paused, let it sit. "I just wanted you to know that, to see me, to understand what you did." Trump's attorney stood. "We are calling the police." Sarah turned to the other diners, made eye contact, spoke clearly. "This man destroyed my career for doing the right thing. 6 of us all gone because we tried to protect the country." She walked back to her table, sat down. Trump stood immediately, threw cash on the table, left without eating. Secret Service rushed him out. The video was everywhere within an hour, 40 million views by morning. Fired NSC staffer confronts Trump at restaurant. Comments overwhelmingly supportive, even conservatives. She has every right to speak to him. He destroyed her life. Trump loved golf, went every weekend. Trump International in West Palm Beach, his course, his club. Saturday morning, 6 a.m. His motorcade approached the entrance, but there were people blocking the gates. 200 of them, all from the Trump crypto victims group. All with signs, all with stories. Not violent, not blocking illegally, just standing on public property, making it impossible to enter. Secret Service, you need to disperse. Mark Henderson at the front. We are on public property. We have a right to be here. You are blocking access. No, sir, we are standing on the sidewalk. The entrance is 50 feet that way, not blocked. Technically true, legally sound, but practically impossible. Trump inside the motorcade, could not get out, could not drive through, could not use force without creating a massive PR disaster. Standoff for 2 hours. Finally, the motorcade turned around, went back to Mar-a-Lago. Trump did not golf that day. News everywhere. Protesters blocked Trump from golf course, his favorite thing in the world, taken away by his own supporters. Fox News tried to spin it. Organized left-wing protesters harassing the president, but then they interviewed Mark Henderson. I am not left-wing. I voted for Trump 3 times, 2016, 2020, and 2024. I believed in him. He told me to invest in his cryptocurrency. I lost $43,000, my entire retirement. So yeah, I am standing outside his golf course. He took my money. Least he can do is face me. Even Sean Hannity could not spin that. Well, that is concerning. Tucker Carlson was more direct. These are Trump voters, not Democrats, not liberals, his own people, and they are saying he scammed them. That is a real problem. Trump scheduled a rally, Iowa. Had to show strength. Had to prove he could still draw crowds, 20,000 people, arena packed, his base, his people. But outside, 500 Trump crypto victims, with signs, with stories. Security was tight, but some had tickets. bought legitimately, got inside. Trump started his speech. "We are making America great again. We are winning like never before." 30 seconds in, someone stood up. Back section held up a sign. "You stole my $50,000. Security moved toward them immediately, but then another person stood. A different section, another sign. "Lost $73,000 to Trump scam." Security running now. Another sign. "Where is my retirement?" Another. "You destroyed my family." 12 people spread throughout the arena, all with signs, all silent, just standing there, cameras catching everything. Trump tried to keep going. We are making great progress on the economy," and he stumbled, lost his place, looked rattled. Security was removing people, but slowly, carefully. Cameras everywhere. Trump cut it short. 38 minutes, usually spoke for 90. "Thank you, Iowa. God bless America." Walked off, didn't come back. Fox News could not ignore it. Split screen. Trump walking off stage, protesters being escorted out. Chiron. Protesters disrupt Trump rally in Iowa. His base watching. Why are his own supporters doing this? After Iowa, Trump canceled the next 3 rallies, schedule conflicts, canceled a CPAC speech, presidential duties, canceled a donor dinner, security concerns, stopped appearing publicly, started governing from Mar-a-Lago, video calls, remote meetings, no public events. Press asked daily, "Why is not the president appearing in public?" Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, "The president is focused on governance." Reporter, "Is he afraid of protesters?" Leavitt, "That is ridiculous. Next question." But everyone could see it. The president of the United States was hiding. Could not golf in public, protesters. Could not eat at restaurants, confrontations. Could not hold rallies, disruptions. Could not face his own supporters. Jasmine Crockett called another hearing, December, 6 months after the first one, subpoenaed Trump again, presidential testimony on cryptocurrency corruption, Part 2. Trump did not show. Sent his attorney with a letter. Presidential schedule conflicts prevent the president from appearing. Crockett read the letter aloud, then looked at the camera. The president appeared last time. Sat here scrolling through his phone. Now he will not come. Why? The attorney, "The president has extensive responsibilities." The president is hiding from Congress, from his victims, from accountability. The man who constantly called himself the toughest, the strongest, the bravest. He is hiding at Mar-a-Lago, will not face the people he scammed. She pulled out her binders again, same ones, same evidence. Since our last hearing, 340,000 Americans have come forward. All say the same thing. President Trump promoted his cryptocurrency. They invested. They lost everything. He made billions. They lost their retirements. She opened the first binder. Mark Henderson, electrician from Ohio, lost $43,000. His daughter had to drop out of college. Next page, Jennifer Williams, teacher from Iowa, lost $67,000. Her retirement gone. Next page, Robert Chen, small business owner from Nevada, lost $92,000, had to close his business. She kept reading. Name after name, loss after loss, story after story. 340,000 people, $7.9 billion. That is how much ordinary Americans lost, while President Trump's net worth increased by $11.6 billion. She closed the binder, looked at the empty chair where Trump should have been sitting, and he will not even show up to answer questions because he knows what he did. He knows it was wrong. He knows these people trusted him because he was president, and he scammed them. Pause. 5 government officials testified last month, all destroyed for trying to stop this corruption. Sarah Chen, fired for protecting national security. James Martinez, forced to resign for refusing to drop a legitimate investigation. Daniel Parker, fired for trying to indict. Robert Williams, fired for citing the Constitution. Amanda Foster, buried alive in the archives. Another pause. They did their jobs. They tried to protect America. They paid the price. And the president, he made billions and hid behind the gates of Mar-a-Lago. She looked directly at the camera, speaking past the committee, speaking to America. I documented the corruption. I presented the evidence. Blockchain records, bank statements, witness testimony. It is all real. It is all verifiable. Anyone can look it up. She stacked her binders neatly. The president responded by hiding. He will not face Congress. He will not face his victims. He will not face the American people. He has power, but he is powerless to show his face. He has money, but he is trapped by his crimes. Final pause. He is president, but he is a prisoner, not in a cell. In Mar-a-Lago, behind gates, behind guards, behind walls, unable to appear in public, unable to face the people he hurt, unable to live the life he stole money for. She yielded her time. The hearing ended. Trump did not respond, did not tweet, did not appear, just stayed at Mar-a-Lago, hidden, trapped, imprisoned by his own corruption. Mark Henderson watched the hearing from his living room. His small living room, rental apartment now, had to sell the house. His daughter was working the evening shift at Target, still would not talk to him much. Still angry he had trusted Trump. On screen, Crockett was talking about him, about his $43,000, about his daughter's college. He felt seen, acknowledged, validated. It did not bring his money back, did not fix his life, did not repair his relationship with his daughter, but it was something. Someone in power had said his name, had told his story, had made the president hide. He checked the Trump coin price one more time. Force of habit, $8 now, down from 12, still falling. He would never get his money back. He knew that. Trump had cashed out at the top billions while regular people like Mark held the bag. But at least Trump was trapped. At least Trump could not show his face. At least Trump had to live behind walls. It was not justice, but it was consequence. And for someone who had lost everything, consequence was better than nothing. Sarah Chen watched the hearing from her apartment. Small studio, all she could afford now. No job, still divorced. Parents barely speaking to her. But when Crockett said her name, talked about her being fired for protecting national security, something shifted inside her. She had done the right thing, the hard thing, the costly thing, and someone with power was acknowledging it. It did not fix her career, did not fix her marriage, did not make her parents proud again. But it meant she was not crazy, was not wrong, was not alone. 340,000 people had been scammed, 5 officials had been destroyed, all for trying to stop one man's corruption, and that man was now hiding. Could not golf, could not eat out, could not hold rallies, could not face anyone. She thought about him at Mar-a-Lago, trapped, looking out windows, seeing gates, guards, walls, living in luxury but imprisoned by fear. Fear of his own victims, fear of his own supporters, fear of the people he had betrayed. For a man whose entire identity was built on being tough, being brave, being confrontational, being forced into hiding was probably the only punishment that actually hurt. She did not smile, did not celebrate, just felt something close to peace. She had lost everything, but she had kept her integrity, and Trump had billions but lost his freedom, not perfect, not justice, but something. James Martinez was substitute teaching now, high school math, made $40 an hour, used to make $70 an hour at the SEC. His son had finally gotten that bike, Christmas. James had saved for 3 months, used, not new, but his son loved it. Watching Crockett talk about the investigation he had been forced to close, James felt vindicated. Not happy, not satisfied, just vindicated. He had been right. Son was a criminal. The investigation should have continued. Closing it was corruption, and now everyone knew. Millions of people watching the hearing, seeing the evidence, understanding what had happened. Justin's son still hadn't been charged, still owned millions in Trump coins, still competing for that White House dinner. But everyone knew he was a fraud. Everyone knew the investigation had been killed for political reasons. Everyone knew James had been right to resign. His career was still destroyed, still could not get hired anywhere, still struggling. But his name had been cleared, his reputation restored. History would remember he had tried to do the right thing. That had to be enough because it was all he had. Trump was at Mar-a-Lago watching the hearing on 3 different screens: Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, all showing Crockett, all showing the evidence, all showing the empty chair where he should have been. He was furious, yelling at the TV, at his lawyers, at everyone. "She cannot say that. That is defamation. Sue her, sue Congress, sue someone." His attorneys looked uncomfortable. "Sir, she is citing public records, blockchain data. It is all factual. I do not care. Make it stop." But they could not make it stop. The evidence was real. The victims were real. The consequences were real. He pulled out his phone, started to tweet, then stopped. What could he say? That the protesters were fake? Everyone had seen them, his own voters wearing MAGA hats, holding signs about losing money. That the investigation was a hoax? The blockchain records were public. Anyone could verify them. That he was not hiding? He was literally hiding. Had not appeared publicly in 3 weeks. He had no response, no defense, no spin. For the first time in his life, Donald Trump had no way out. He was president, had all the power, all the money, all the protection, but he could not use any of it. Could not appear in public, could not face people, could not live freely. He was trapped. In Mar-a-Lago, in the presidency, in his own corruption. He looked out the window, saw the gates, the guards, the walls, built to keep others out, now keeping him in. His phone buzzed. Trump coin price alert, down to $7. He threw the phone across the room. Months later, aerial shots of Mar-a-Lago became iconic. News stations used them constantly. The sprawling estate, the golf course, the beach, the luxury, and one man trapped inside. Unable to leave, unable to face America, President of the United States, most powerful position in the world, living like a prisoner because his own victims would not let him forget. Protesters outside every potential appearance, signs everywhere he might go, confrontations at every restaurant, his own supporters turning on him. His own voters demanding answers. He had made billions but could not spend it publicly. He had won the presidency but could not be president publicly. He had craved attention his entire life. Now attention was his punishment. Every camera showing his absence, every empty podium, every canceled appearance, all proving what Jasmine Crockett had said. He was not in a cell, but he was imprisoned. Not by bars, by consequences, not by law, by victims, not by Democrats, by his own supporters. The man who had built his brand on being everywhere, saying everything, demanding all attention, was now invisible, hidden, trapped. And 340,000 Americans who had lost everything could at least take comfort in knowing he could not enjoy what he had stolen. He had won, but he had lost the only thing he truly cared about: his freedom, his image, his ability to be seen, trapped in paradise, imprisoned by his crimes, hidden from the world, trapped in paradise, imprisoned by his crimes, hidden from the world. The Trump crypto victims group kept growing, 400,000 members by January, 500,000 by March. They organized systematically, tracked his movements, coordinated protests, shared information. Every time Trump tried to appear somewhere, they knew and they showed up. Attempted golf in Bedminster, 200 protesters at the gates. Tried to attend a Republican fundraiser in Miami. Victims bought tickets, sat in the front row, silent signs. He canceled 30 minutes before. Planned a speech at the Republican National Committee. 500 victims surrounded the building. He appeared via video instead. Mark Henderson became the unofficial spokesman. News channels called him constantly. Why do you keep protesting? Because he stole from us, and he will not even acknowledge it, will not apologize, will not face us, just hides behind his gates and his guards. Do you want your money back? Mark laughed, bitter. I will never get my money back. The coin is worthless now. $6 last I checked. But I want him to know every single day that we are here, that we remember, that we will not let him forget what he did. His daughter started speaking to him again, slowly, carefully. She had seen the protests on the news, seen her father's interview, seen him fighting back. I am still angry you lost the money, Dad, but I'm proud you are doing this. It was not forgiveness, not yet, but it was something. Sarah Chen got a job offer, small think tank. Nothing like what she had had, but it was work. The director told her why. "We saw your press conference. What you did took guts. We need people with integrity." Her parents called. First time in months, her mother cried. "We are sorry we did not understand. You were right." James Martinez got hired too, law firm specializing in whistleblower protection. They wanted someone who had actually been through it. "You stood up when it mattered. That is who we represent." The five of them, the fired officials, became regular commentators on news shows. Every time Trump's crypto corruption came up, they were interviewed, telling their stories, showing the cost of standing up. They did not get their careers back. Not really, but they got purpose, platform, vindication. Trump watched it all from Mar-a-Lago. Every news segment, every interview, every protest. He could not stop it, could not sue them. They were telling the truth, could not intimidate them. They had already lost everything. His approval ratings dropped, even among Republicans, even among his base. Fox News polls showed 63% of Republicans thought the president should address the crypto victim concerns. Newsmax ran a segment, "Did Trump go too far with cryptocurrency?" Even his own media ecosystem was questioning him. His Truth Social posts became increasingly defensive, increasingly angry, increasingly desperate. "The fake news is lying about my very successful cryptocurrency business. I made money for investors. The complainers are just bad at investing." But the blockchain records were public. Everyone could see. He had cashed out at the top, made billions, while retail investors lost everything. "The protesters are paid by Democrats to make me look bad." But the protesters were registered Republicans, voted for him, wore his hats, held his signs, just with new messages about being scammed. "I am not hiding. I am working being president." Unlike Sleepy Joe, who took vacations. But his schedule was public, days without any public events, just meetings at Mar-a-Lago, no rallies, no appearances, no press conferences. The contradictions were obvious. The lies were transparent. The spin was not working. His advisors begged him to address it. "Do something. Say something meaningful. Just apologize, sir. Say you did not mean for people to lose money. Show some empathy." He refused. "I never apologize. Shows weakness." "Sir, they are not going away. 340,000 people. They are organized. They are motivated. They are your voters." "Then they are losers. I do not need them." But he did need them. His base was fracturing. His coalition was crumbling. His image was shattered. This man who had built everything on strength, on dominance, on never backing down, was trapped by his own ego, could not apologize, could not admit wrong, could not show empathy. So he stayed hidden, trapped, not just by protesters, trapped by his own psychology, unable to bend, unable to change, unable to do the one thing that might have saved him, admit he was wrong. Congress moved forward without him. Democrats introduced the Presidential Cryptocurrency Ethics Act, required presidents to divest from any cryptocurrency holdings while in office, required disclosure of all crypto transactions, established independent oversight. It had Republican co-sponsors, not many, but some, the ones from swing districts, the ones who had seen the protests, the ones who had heard from constituents who had lost money. It passed the House 238 to 197. 41 Republicans voted yes, went to the Senate. Debate lasted 3 weeks. Protests outside the Capitol every day. Victims telling their stories, holding signs, demanding action. It passed 52 to 48. 2 Republicans voted yes, both from states Trump had lost. The bill went to Trump's desk, required his signature. He vetoed it, of course. Unconstitutional overreach into presidential business interests. The veto was expected. The optics were devastating. President protecting his own corruption, refusing to sign a bill that would prevent future presidents from doing exactly what he had done. News cycle dominated it for a week, his own party members criticizing him. The president should have signed this. His spokesman tried to defend it. The president believes in free markets, reporter. Even when the president uses his office to manipulate those markets? No good answer. The Trump crypto victims group held a vigil outside the White House, thousands of them, each holding a candle, each with a sign showing how much they had lost. Silent, peaceful, powerful. Mark Henderson stood at the front, gave a speech. "We are not here as Democrats or Republicans. We are here as Americans. Americans who trusted our president and lost everything." His voice carried across the crowd, cameras everywhere. "We cannot get our money back. That is gone. He has it. We do not. But we can make sure everyone knows, everyone remembers, everyone understands what he did." Pause. Some people say we should move on. Forget about it. Let it go. But we cannot, because it is not just about money. It is about trust, about believing in someone who had the highest office and being betrayed. Another pause. So we will keep showing up, keep telling our stories, keep reminding America, until he faces us, until he apologizes, until he acknowledges what he did. The crowd was silent, just candlelight and signs and faces. The vigil lasted 4 hours, news covered every minute. Trump watched from the White House residence, curtains drawn, lights off, unable to show his face. 340,000 people he had scammed, millions more who supported them, all watching, all waiting for him to do something, say something, fix something. He did nothing, said nothing, fixed nothing, just stayed inside, hidden, trapped. Jasmine Crockett was invited to speak at the vigil. She declined. "This is not about me. It is about them, the victims. Let them have their moment." But she issued a statement. "I presented the evidence 6 months ago, documented the corruption, showed the receipts. The president responded by hiding. That tells you everything you need to know, not about me, not about Congress, about him." She continued, "These victims are not political props. They are real people with real losses, with real pain, and they deserve more than silence. They deserve acknowledgement. They deserve accountability. They deserve a president who can face them." Final paragraph. "They will not get that from this president. He has proven that. But they have shown something more important, that ordinary people can make power uncomfortable, can make corruption visible, can make a president hide. That is not nothing. That is everything." The statement went viral, shared millions of times, because it was true. They had not put Trump in jail, had not impeached him, had not removed him, but they had made him hide, made him afraid, made him unable to live the life he had stolen money for, made billions but could not spend them in public, won the presidency but could not be president in public, craved attention, but attention became his cage. In April, Trump tried one more rally. Ohio had to prove he could still do it, still draw crowds, still command a room. Security was massive. State police, Secret Service, private security, metal detectors, bag checks. The crowd was screened, no signs allowed, no protesters, just supporters. 22,000 people, arena full, music, energy, the old magic. Trump walked out. Crowd roared. He smiled, waved, felt it again. The rush, the power, the adoration. He started speaking. "Thank you, Ohio. Great to be here. Great to see real Americans, not the fake news, not the protesters. Real Americans who love their country." Applause, cheers. "They tried to stop me, tried to silence me, tried to say I cannot come out here and talk to you, but here I am." More cheers. He was hitting his stride, feeling confident. Maybe he could do this. Maybe he could push through. Then the lights went out. Emergency lights kicked on, dim, red, eerie. Trump stopped speaking, looked around, confused, voice over the PA system, not his people, someone else. "Ladies and gentlemen, we are Trump crypto victims. We bought tickets. We came here legally, and we want you to know what he did to us." Spotlight hit someone in the crowd, standing, holding a sign. "Lost $54,000 to Trump crypto scam." Another spotlight, different section. "Lost my home, $68,000 gone." Another. "Lost my daughter's college fund, $49,000. 12 spotlights, 12 people spread throughout the arena, all victims, all with signs. Security was running, but the arena was massive, 22,000 people. Chaos. Trump was frozen on stage, staring, not speaking. The victim voices kept coming. You told us to invest. We trusted you. You are the president. You cashed out, made billions. We lost everything. Face us. Acknowledge us. Apologize. Security finally cut the PA, started removing the victims, but it took 15 minutes. 15 minutes of chaos, of victims being dragged out, of crowd divided, some booing the victims, some silent, some supportive. Trump never recovered the rhythm, tried to restart his speech, but he was shaken, off balance, wrong-footed. He ended early, 42 minutes, usually went 90. Thank you, Ohio. We will make America great again. God bless. Walked off to mixed applause, half the arena cheering, half confused, some quiet. Outside, 500 more victims waited, with signs, with candles, with stories. Trump's motorcade had to drive past them slowly, security protocol, every face visible, every sign readable, every loss documented. He looked out the window, saw them, his victims, his voters, his base, all betrayed, all angry, all remembering. And in that moment, Donald Trump understood something he had never understood before. Money did not fix everything. Power did not fix everything. Presidency did not fix everything. Some things could not be fixed. Some things could not be spun. Some things could not be escaped. He had scammed too many people, hurt too many lives, destroyed too much trust, and no amount of power could make them forget. He was president, most powerful man in the world, and he was trapped by his own victims, unable to move freely, unable to appear publicly, unable to live without fear, not fear of violence, fear of confrontation, fear of having to see what he had done, fear of facing the people he had betrayed. That was his sentence, not prison, not impeachment, not removal, just consequence, just accountability.